Today we're doing an InDesign tutorial on how to create a webinar worksheet. Now I'm going to go over the 4 main components I think you need to think about when you're delivering your webinar worksheet, and then we're going to create one together in Adobe InDesign. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe InDesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday, and I do unboxings on Saturdays. Here is the webinar worksheet that we'll be creating together today. Now you have the logo, you have the title, the who, what, when, where, and you have 4 questions with fill in the blank, as well as a call to action and a deadline at the bottom. Now we can get really fancy with checkboxes and infographics, but that's really for the incredible Workbooks course if you are interested in that. I will leave information below, but for today's lesson, we're going to create a simple text-based webinar worksheet. So let's go ahead and go over here to the top to File, New, Document, and we're going to make this an 8.5 by 11 portrait, and we're going to put 0.5 inch margins all around because I think that having a 1 inch is a little weird looking for a webinar worksheet because people probably aren't going to be 3-hole punching that. All right, so first let's create these 2 blocks up here at the top, and we're going to go over here to the rectangle tool, and we're simply going to drag and drop rectangles, so nothing too difficult. I'm going to color this in pink. And then I'm going to go over here to the selection tool. I'm going to copy and paste this, drag it down to the bottom. And over here at the bottom, I had a copyright there. So I'm going to select the type tool, drag and drop a text box. And I'm going to insert a copyright symbol over here at type, insert special character symbols, copyright symbol, and 2018. Pretty Fabulous Designs. And then I want to make sure people have my website, and I'm going to make sure this is in a font that I actually like. So we're going to select Oswald, and we're going to select Extra Light, and I'm going to say this is 18, and I'm going to say this should be 150. There we go. I'm going to add this character style just so I don't have to select all that again. And I want this text to be white. So I'm going to go to this box, make sure I have the type tool selected, and I'm going to select paper. And as you can see, it's white now. So I will lay it over here on top of that pink box, and I'll just nudge it down to the center with my arrows. And am I happy with that? Actually, I want to make this, I'm going to select the type tool again. I'm going to make this lowercase, or uppercase, small uppercase, I guess we can call it. All right, now let's go back to the top. And I had that Planner Academy logo over here. And to put an object, I'm just going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to select it. And now I have a loaded cursor, and I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to say I want it about yay big. And then to the right, I'm going to put a text box. I selected that type tool, and again, I'm going to eyeball it. And it's called How to Make Planner Stickers. Did I spell that right? And it is going to be on July 1st at noon. PST, and join us in case people forget or didn't save it to their calendar. It's at craftcast.io/Lisa Seifert. So that's easy. And I want this to be in that font, but I also want it to be pink. And I want this to be Dido. And I want it to be 24, maybe. There we go. Oops, let me drag it out. All right. So that looks pretty good to me. Maybe I'll center it down a little lower. And then over here I want that sticker icon, so I'm going to do File, Place. And now I have a loaded sticker icon. And I'm just going to kind of drag and drop it over here. So I do have to nudge it in a little. Oops. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to copy and paste this line again, and I'm just going to line it up right here underneath. But I want it a lot thinner, so I'm just going to drag that bottom up with that little white box. That's how I resize that. And I'm going to leave it there. So now I'm ready to ask my first question. So I have the type tool selected, and I'm just going to draw a text box over here. And my first question is, what is the difference between kiss cut versus die cut? Are those hyphenated? They might be, but that's okay. So we're going to say character style 1 again, and I want it to be, do I want it to be pink? I want it to be pink, so I'll make sure the type tool is selected and I'll select pink. There we go. And actually I don't need these as spread out as that, maybe just a 22. Okay, maybe, just kidding, maybe a 55. And so now that it's pink and I've changed the spacing, I can go over here and I can say create new style, and it'll automatically create a style based on the text that's selected. So we're going to go ahead and enter all the text questions, and then we'll come back and make those text boxes so that people can enter information. So the second question is, I don't remember, oh, which is better for making stickers? Which is better for making stickers? The silhouette versus Cricut. And same thing, character style 2. And I'll do another text box. And drop it down here. And I don't remember the question. What is the best sticker paper? There we go. What's the best sticker paper? Same thing, character style 2. Now alternatively, instead of going through this character style thing, I could have simply copied and pasted this text box and then dragged it down here and just wrote on top of it. So number 4 is what types of stickers sell best. All right, so now I'm almost towards the bottom, and I want to put my call to action in. So I am going to move these all up a little bit so I have a little more room. And I'm going to copy and paste this line over here to signify the end of the question sections. And I'm actually just going to copy and paste this image down below again. And I'm going to create a new text box that says, join us. Join us in Planner Academy at, and I'm simply going to make an underline mark. I'm not going to worry too much about that. And over here, I'm going to change this character style to character style 2. That is way too many. So I'm going to resize this so it comes all the way to the edge, and go back to my type tool and just go ahead and make those lines go to the end. And I'm going to tell people about bonus number 1 and give them space to write what that bonus is. And I'm going to say bonus number 2 and write underscores over here. And then I'm going to say bonuses expire at 11 9:59 p.m. EST on, and I'm going to leave that blank so they can fill that out. All right, so now we kind of have, and I also want to make sure that this box has an outline on it. So, or do I? I lie. Oh yeah, I don't lie. It does have an outline box. So over here at the top, we are going to go to stroke, and we're going to make sure we select pink. And so now this has a box around it. Now, if you can't see the box because of these guides, remember you can simply hit the W key, and then you can see everything without those guides on it. Now, I'm going to hit W so I can see my guides, but we're going to go ahead and add text boxes. So all you have to do is go over here to the rectangle tool, and again, I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm going to draw a rectangle all the way out. Now, I want people to be able to see this, so I'm going to make that stroke pink so it has an outline. And for fill, I'm also going to make that pink. Now, obviously, no one can write on something that dark. That's crazy. So we're going to go over here to tint, and I'm going to change it to about 15%. And that looks pretty good to me. So they can see where the text box is, but it's still light enough where they can write in black pen and be able to see their own handwriting just fine. So I'm just going to keep copying and pasting those text boxes underneath. In fact, I have a little extra room here, so I can put this up here. All right, now how do I make these text boxes interactive? Now, in theory, if they just print this out, they can just start writing on it with a pen. But I also want to think of people who like to type on their computer. So I can go over here to Buttons and Forms, and if you don't see that, you can go over to Window, Interactive, and Buttons and Forms, and this will pop up. So I have this text, I shouldn't say text box, I have this rectangle selected, and when I go to type, I'm going to change this to a text field. And I want to make sure that I make this an on click, that it becomes active, and I also want to make sure it's scrollable and multi-lined so I don't limit them in what they can write. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go to text field, and I'm going to go on click, multi-line, next box, same thing, text field, on click, multi-line, and the last one, text box, on click, multi-line. All right, now this is where it gets a little, I shouldn't say difficult, but it's sneaky because we're going to put a text box, a rectangle here, and make it one of those interactive text boxes, but we don't want people to see it. And the reason we don't want them to see it is because we've already given them some lines over here. So we're just going to go ahead and eyeball a text box here, and I'm going to go and make this a text field, on click, and same thing, multi-line. And over here, same thing, text field, multi-line, and I'm sure you might be wondering, oops, why I don't copy and paste that, because I usually copy and paste almost everything. You could definitely copy and paste these rectangle boxes, but once you make it into an interactive text field, you can't copy and paste it unless you want that information to show up in multiple places. So like, let's say you ask somebody what their first name is, and you only want them to fill it out once on, say, a contract. You would just copy and paste that after you made this box, because once you define a text field, it says text field number 8. If you copy and paste this everywhere it goes, whatever that person types, it will just go ahead and synchronize that all the way across that document everywhere. So we're pretty much done. Make that a little taller. There we go. Now, to go ahead and save this out, we are going to go to File, Export. And when you export it, this is the most important part. You need to make sure that you export this as interactive. So we are going to go ahead and put this into, just put this into the desktop, and we will say Adobe PDF Interactive, and we'll save it. And I think I just left it untitled, right? All right, so it'll automatically open in Adobe Acrobat for you, and you'll see as soon as I click that, this is the greatest webinar InDesign tutorial ever. And then when I tab, it'll go to text box number 2. Text box number 2. And then tab over. So every time I tab, it will take me to a new box. So tab over here, over here, over here, over here. So that is all you have to do. So I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions or if I went too fast, well, obviously you can just replay it, but if you have any other questions, let me know. All right, bye guys.